Hey, what up guys, Eviaax here, and today we're going to be talking about setting up for WoD and getting ready and preparing for it. So I want to talk a little bit about my my rotation, my UI, my macros, what to do, what not to do, talents, glyphs. Alright, so first thing I wanted to talk about was my UI. As you can see, I use a lot of add-ons that some of you may or may not be familiar with, okay? The first add-on I want to talk about was Extra CD. This keeps track of your procs, your trinkets, your everything. It keeps track of Wild Imp, the Wild Imp proc, your enchants for your weapon, and your trinkets. It's a good add-on to have to keep track of when is a prime opportunity to burst and when to burst. I don't always use it when it procs, but if I see that it procs and I see a good opportunity to burst, I'll take advantage of it, and then I'll pop my cooldowns with it, you know? The next add-on I would like to talk about is cooldown count. And this is one of my favorite add-ons to have. It keeps track of your big cooldowns such as Imp Swarm, your Dark Soul. It has a little timer that it puts over the spell just so you can keep track of it and use it when it comes off cooldown if needed or necessary, you know? So I love that add-on. The next one I would like to talk about is Gladiator. If you don't know what Gladiator is, you need to go get it right now. This is prime for PvP and arenas, okay? Gladiator keeps track of the DRs such as Fear, Poly, Clones. It keeps track of all that. It shows you what CC they're in the little box, and it's easy to keep track of when you want to put a full Fear on the whatever target necessary, and when you want to chain after it. So let's say you put a Fear, it shows the Fear icon next to the person's name that you feared. And once you see like 2 seconds left, you start casting a new Fear to keep them in the CC chain so you can optimize your CC against that target. The next add-on is Interrupt Bar, okay? So this add-on keeps track of your opponent's interrupts such as kick, silence, so you know when they're on cooldown and when they are not, and when you can get silenced and when you cannot, okay? So this is good for like fake casting. If you want to fake cast and you catch them, you could spam whatever you need to afterwards and see when it comes up when it's off cooldown, okay? And another great add-on for you newer PvP, I mean, it's a great add-on regardless. It's called Gladiator Losa. It says when your opponent trinkets, it's like a little voice in your head telling you what's going on in the game without actually having to look at your opponent's buffs, debuffs, and all that good stuff. So it'll tell you when your opponent trinkets, when they're using cooldowns, and it's like a little voice that just says what's going on. It's a really good add-on. It's a good add-on for new PvP players. It's a good add-on for veterans. So yeah, those are the main add-ons that I use for PvP wise. Aesthetically, I use Bartender to clean up my my spells and the way it looks, so I can keep track of my important spells in one side and my less important spells in the other. Okay, so I use Bartender to just make it look aesthetically pleasing for me. My personal preference. You can change it to however you want to, but you get a more customized feel to your liking. So that's just personal preference. You don't have to get it, but if you want to make your UI look cleaner and more organized, I recommend using Bartender. Next on the list is macros. Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna make a separate video for specific macros, what macros I use, what macros I don't use. But right now, I'm just gonna talk about how my setup is, how you see like 3 Imp Swarms next to each other. Not all of those are Imp Swarm. Okay, for example, one of those Imp Swarms is just a life drain spell made to look like an Imp Swarm, just so I can keep track of that cooldown, because in reality I don't need to see my life drain spell on my action bars at all. So that I know where it's at, I know what binding it's set to. All I really need to keep track is the Imp Swarm or the Howl of Terror or the Handle Gul'dan. Anything that has a cooldown I want to keep track of. So putting 3, it makes it easier for me to see what are the more important cooldowns I need to keep track of. So once you get a hang of your bindings, if you haven't already, I'd recommend putting like spells like Corruption, Life Drain, Hellfire. Those are spells you don't need to keep on your action bar or to look at. So make it into a spell that more important to you. You don't have to do this, but it does help keeping track of your bigger spells as opposed to spells that don't really have a cooldown. So like I said, I'm not going to be talking about my specific macros. I do have a list of macros and a link in Pastebin that you guys can check out. It's not updated, but for the most part, it's on point to what I use. Next, I want to talk to you about what talents I am using, what glyphs I am using. All right, so right now I'm using Dark Regeneration. I find that is the best healing still to be using, so I'm using Dark Regen as my 15th spell. For 30, I'm using Howl of Terror. I do miss Coil, but I just think that the Howl of Terror is more effective to have. You can AoE CC your whatever you want to AoE CC, but you can put CC on more than one target. So I find that a little bit more effective to use than Coil and Shadow Fury. I don't really need Shadow Fury because of the pet stun. So that's what I'm using for the 31. For 45, I'm still using Bargain. I think that Bargain is a great spell to use when you get in trouble. I play very aggressive myself, so using a no shit button like Bargain is perfect for my play style. Like, people who have their preferences, they have different play styles, but like I said, Bargain is my oh shit button that I like to use when I start playing a little bit aggressive and know I'm in trouble. So I still like having that as a spell. My level 61 is Unbound Will. I'm still playing with no movement impairing trinket, so I still like using Unbound Will. It depends whether it's 2s or 3s. I would recommend using a trinket for like 2s where you're playing double DPS, but other than that, this is I just don't use any trinket and use Unbound Will as my trinket. And for my level 75 spell, my level 75 talent, I'm using currently Grimoire of Service. I am using the Imp as my service pet, and I find it to be very effective with my burst, as opposed to Grimoire Synergy where you have to wait for the proc, and Supremacy where it just deals more consistent damage throughout the match. I like going for the burst kills. I like setting up my kills and then using my cooldowns, and using the service pet Imp with my burst is phenomenal right now. I find it to be amazing, so I'm sticking with the service for now. It could change, it could not. I may use it in WoD, I may not, you know, so we'll see. That can always change. I'll keep you guys updated with that. And for my final one, come on guys, Arkman's Vengeance. You can't really argue with that one. I really don't need to explain myself for that one. It's the best one. It's the best talent to have, right? Okay, so those are my talents. Those are what I'm using right now. Those are my preferences. You can tamper with it. You can try some other things out, switch talents up, see what you like to do, see what's more effective for you, and then let me know in the comments or something, because I'm always looking for more revolutionary things you could do as Demo. Some new things that I may not know, some new things that I may know, but you have a little twist on it. So please, in the comments, if you know something or a little tip or trick, please let me know. I would love to hear it. I'd love to test it out. I'd love to try it. Okay. And the last thing I am talking about today in this video is my rotation. To set up burst is very important as Demonology. If you guys don't know already, it's very prime to set up your burst. What I've been doing post hotfix is using the service pet with my double chaos wave. So this is what I'm doing. I'm immediately using Imp Swarm on the most offensive target. So whatever target you see coming after you, or whatever pops out first from stealth, that's what I put Imp Swarm on. I want to start gaining fury immediately. The faster I gain fury, the faster I can burst, the faster I could CC the off targets, the faster we get a kill. Okay, so what I'm doing, I pop Imp Swarm off the bat, I dot my targets up, I go into Metaform, I use Touch of Chaos just to get my Imp proc, so it summons the extra Imp. I'll throw on Doom to whatever target is the kill target, and that right there sets me up so I can burst. So once you see that kill opportunity and you're ready to burst, pop them one-shot GG cooldowns, baby. We're going ham. Alright, so you want to pop your Dark Soul, your trinkets, everything. Pop everything you have, alright? Once you do that, pop your Imp Service Pet and use your double Chaos Wave followed by spamming Touch of Chaos. That's all it is, guys. That's all you have to do to get a kill on your target, okay? So now you have a pet stun. You can either use that to CC the healer or put on your kill target if your off target's already CC'd. So you can, it depends the situation on that. You put your stun on whatever you'd like, okay? If you need it for CC, use it for CC. If you need it for a kill target, use it on a kill target. That's all situational, okay? But that's all it is, guys. You have to set it up. Get your Fury, okay? Once you're able to set up CC your off target, pop your cooldowns, pop your Imp Service Pet, go into Metaform, double Chaos Wave, and spam Touch of Chaos. I've seen a nice filler for Demo right now when you're not bursting and you applied all dots is Life Drain. I find it to be very effective. It's a nice little heal, but it gains a decent amount of Fury. So that's my little filler I'm using for Demonology right now. That's the way I burst. That's the way I does it, baby. That's all it is, okay? Oh, and that's right. Oh my god, I almost forgot. I wanted to also talk to you about what glyphs I am using and why. Let's see right here. I need to look at it real quick. Okay, so I am using, for one of my major glyphs, Demon Training. That is specifically for my Imp Service Pet, so it casts the firebolts instantaneously one after another. It's better for burst, and that's really the only reason why I'm using it for better burst. The next one is, come on, you already know it. It's Imp Swarm, Glyph of Imp Swarm. You cannot play Demonology without using Imp Swarm as a glyph. Well, you can, but I mean, you can't. Okay, so that's another one. That's your 4 imps. You summon them. That's where I get my regen, my Fury regen from, and it's very important for me. The next one, the last one I use is Glyph of Eternal Resolve. I don't really like worrying about my defensives when I'm on the offensive. You don't really need to cast much as Demo, so I see this as a nice passive defense for Demonology. Okay, so those are my major glyphs. The minors I don't really care about. Oh, actually the only minor I would care about is Glyph of Health Funnel, just for your pet healing. It's instant, you don't have to channel it or anything like that. So those are my main glyphs. Anything else for minor, it doesn't matter to me. That's what I'm using. That's what I find most effective. And yeah, guys, that's my little pre-WoD post hotfix preparation guide. All right, it's just a little prep guide just to show you from my point of view what I'm doing. All right, so that's it. Enjoy these BG games, and I'll catch you guys later. I'm out. Headphone users, take out your headphones. Peace!